Have you ever wondered how a war in one part of the world can send ripples across the global economy? Today, we delve into the war in Ukraine and its worldwide impact. When the first shots were fired in Ukraine, a country nestled in Eastern Europe, the world watched anxiously. The conflict, which began as a regional dispute, quickly escalated into a full-blown war, drawing in major global powers like the United States and Russia. The United States, along with its allies, pumped billions of dollars in military aid into Ukraine, hoping to tip the scales. Meanwhile, Russia, despite suffering heavy losses, continued its relentless bombardment of cities in eastern Ukraine. But the effects of this war were not confined to the borders of these nations. The shockwaves were felt far and wide, rippling through the global economy. Energy prices soared as the conflict disrupted vital supply chains, causing a domino effect that impacted households and industries around the world. The rising cost of living, coupled with supply chain disruptions, led to an economic downturn in countries as far away as Austria and Spain. Countries that were already grappling with the aftermath of the pandemic found themselves facing a new challenge: inflation. In Austria, for instance, the economic forecast for 2023 was slashed amid warnings of stagflation, a situation where inflation is high, the economic growth rate slows, and unemployment remains steadily high. Similarly, Spain saw its economic growth target for 2023 lowered due to the impact of the war. The war in Ukraine has also had a profound effect on the country's own economy. With an expected contraction of 35% in its GDP in 2023, the people of Ukraine are bearing the brunt of this conflict. As we can see, the war in Ukraine has not only caused devastation locally but has sent shockwaves through the global economy. The situation continues to remain fluid and unpredictable, raising questions about the future of Ukraine, Russia, and indeed, the world. The only certainty is that the effects of this war will reverberate across the globe for years to come. Now let's journey through the timeline of the war in Ukraine, from its inception to its current state. The war began with Russia's relentless bombardment of cities in eastern Ukraine. Places like Syeverodonetsk and Lysychansk were turned into battlefields, their quiet streets echoing with the sound of war. This marked the onset of a conflict that would dramatically reshape the region and have far-reaching implications. As the conflict escalated, Ukraine found itself pitted against a formidable adversary. However, the nation was not alone in this fight. The United States and its allies stepped forward, offering a lifeline in the form of military aid. Billions of dollars were funneled into Ukraine, fortifying its defenses with advanced weaponry like HIMARS rocket launchers. This international support played a crucial role in bolstering Ukraine's resistance, enabling it to launch a counter-offensive. In the south of the country, Ukrainian forces began to reclaim territory, pushing back against the Russian incursion. This counter-offensive marked a turning point in the conflict, demonstrating Ukraine's resilience and determination to defend its sovereignty. Yet, the war was not without its heavy toll. Russia, despite its formidable military prowess, has suffered significant losses. Estimates of Russian casualties range from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands, a sobering testament to the human cost of this conflict. The economic impact of the war has been equally devastating. Ukraine's economy has been hit hard, with its GDP expected to contract by a staggering 35% in 2023. This economic fallout is a stark reminder of the far-reaching consequences of war, extending beyond the battlefield to touch every aspect of life. This chronology paints a vivid picture of the war's progression, underscoring the devastating human and economic toll it has taken. In conclusion, the war in Ukraine has far-reaching implications that extend beyond its borders. It's not just a local conflict, it's a global crisis. We've seen how it has shaken economies around the world, causing energy prices to surge and disrupting supply chains. The ripple effects of this war have led to inflation rates skyrocketing in countries like Austria and Spain, and warnings of possible recessions from institutions like the International Monetary Fund. We've also taken a closer look at the major events of the war, from the relentless bombardments of cities in eastern Ukraine to the counter-offensive launched by Ukrainian forces in the south. We've seen the world respond as the United States and its allies have supplied Ukraine with billions of dollars in military aid. We've also acknowledged the heavy losses suffered by Russia, with casualty estimates ranging from tens to hundreds of thousands. As for the future of Ukraine, it remains uncertain. The war could escalate, a ceasefire could be reached, or the conflict could drag on for months or even years. The situation remains fluid and unpredictable, but one thing is certain. The effects of this war on Ukraine, Russia, and the world will be felt for years to come.